Okay, so pile one, right off the bat, I'm getting this energy of your boss or client, or I don't know. I don't think this will resonate for those of you on social media and you're asking about how do your subscribers feel about you. Know, this is a boss or a client, and I feel like they recently got a reality check about your ability to work in a team. So why I'm saying that is because I am getting the Neptune Astro dice in the reverse on top of the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. So I'm getting this energy of, because I don't know, Neptune in the reverse is giving me the energy of the Seven of Cups. And if you know the Seven of Cups, it's about illusions, it's about delusions, it's about having a wild imagination, it's about having choices and being shown a range of different cups with different things contained in the cups. And what I'm getting from that is I feel like your boss or your client recently had some sort of an encounter or experience that made them realize what an asset you are. And perhaps they never thought of you as a team player. They probably felt like, oh well, she just sticks to herself, sticks to herself, and she just kind of minds her own business. She shows up at work, or he shows up at work and does their thing, and then clocks out at 5, and they kind of they never really think about you as a team player, and they don't see you in that light. But after seeing the some sort of comparison. I'm seeing some sort of comparison. I'm seeing them meeting somebody who could have been in your position and they were an absolute nightmare to deal with. So they had a very negative interaction with somebody who is your equal, if that makes sense. So for example, let's say you're a receptionist, right? You're a receptionist and your boss has a chain of offices and they have different branches of this office. And so they're trying to hire another receptionist for another branch of the same office, right? And so they interview this receptionist and they are an absolute nightmare to deal with. They could be a diva, they could be difficult, they could just have that combative, difficult personality. And I feel like dealing with the difficultness of that person made them realize what a non-dramatic person you are. They kind of see you as kind of low-key, minding your own business, staying in your lane, and they never appreciated that about you because, I mean, it's such a low key trait to have in an employee that if you have an employee, it's such an underrated thing, right? Having an employee who minds their business, who stays in their lane, does their job, it's what's expected. But apparently, in today's work market, I'm channeling what your boss is thinking. Apparently, in today's job market, you can't even expect that. And so what they usually took for granted in you, they have a new appreciation for. So if you if you recently got a raise, or I'm seeing with the Six of Wands here, it's Sophia from the Golden Girls, and she just won the Best Friend of the Year awards. And we also got the 11th house on top of that. So the 11th house is the house of friendship. I feel like your boss or your client has a new appreciation for you. And if you recently got a raise, or if you recently won an Employee of the Month award or something like that, or if you recently got a bonus, just know that the reason why you won that, and not saying that you don't work hard, that you don't do a good job, or that this is undeserved, but this reality check was a big kind of factor in why you got that thing, why you got that, because there's a newfound appreciation for you at work, at the workplace. And I feel like with the 11th house and the best Friend of the Year awards, I feel like your boss or your client thinks that outside of work, you're actually a lot more fun. Because I feel like for some of you, they also got a glimpse of what your life is like outside of work. And they're kind of seeing a new side of you. They're kind of seeing this new personality. And I feel like another factor of why you could have gotten a raise, a bonus, or an Employee of the Year award is of the year. I meant to say of the month. Oh wow. Okay, so Employee of the Year. That's a lot. Okay. We got the Virgo. So Virgo is about servitude. Is about service of others. It's about pets. So they could have met your pet. They could have just realized how much you love your pets. And it's on top of the Justice in reverse. So Virgo is also the sixth house. And the sixth house is the workplace and everyday routines. And I feel like there's an injustice in that. I feel like for some of your bosses, your boss, okay, your boss kind of feels like they don't do you justice if they were honest. And if even if the company is struggling and they can't afford to give you a raise, I feel like your boss feels guilty about this. I feel like your boss thinks that you work above your pay grade. They're very reluctant to exploit that though, which is wonderful, because some people in this world, when they see a person willing to do things above their own pay grade, they will exploit the hell out of this person. No, your boss has a respect for you from human to human. If you recently got a bonus, I feel like they gave you that bonus out of a sense of, you know what, he or she deserves a raise at this point, but we can't afford to give him or her a raise, so we're just going to give this bonus instead. That's the sense I get. I don't get a negative energy from this works place, except with the Three of Pentacles and the reality check energy. I'm getting the sense that if somebody has been spreading lies or rumors or kind of getting in your boss or client's ear, because with the world in reverse, I'm getting this energy of a remote job. So you could be an outsourced remote worker at your place, and somebody could have gotten in their ear about you. Somebody in closer proximity or higher up in the corporate ladder got in their ear, and they realized this person was lying. So let's say somebody's competitive with you at the workplace and they got in your boss's ear and they said, oh, Pal 1 is nasty. Pal 1 is not a team player. Pal 1 did this on purpose to screw me over. Pal 1 said this. Pal 1 did that. And then again, there's this kind of energy of a reality check or a comparison, and they realize that whatever that person said about you was untrue. And I'm also getting this sense of your boss coming to a realization that you trigger people. So, there could have been kind of a turnover, but I'm getting the sense that this is an unhostile turnover, and the turnover had more to do with people getting triggered by you. So let's say in your office there are two assistants, right? There are two assistants that do the same thing. The somebody they hired could not have lasted long because they felt like they should have replaced you, but they didn't. They didn't immediately get promoted to That's so weird. Why would anybody expect that? Anyway, whatever this is, your boss realizes that there's jealousy at the workplace. There's envy, there's jealousy, there's this energy of people coveting what you have or what you do, and your boss is just suddenly realizing this. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Why did I cough? I'm feeling like this is a long time coming kind of thing. Your boss should have realized this a long time ago. But they're just realizing this now. They're just realizing that you're not the problem. You're not the problem? No, I don't think they ever thought you were the problem. I'm just kind of getting this sense that your boss is just now realizing how hard you trigger people. Yeah, it could be, let's say you're a waiter and you're very attractive. Your boss may have witnessed how the partners of customers get jealous when their partners tip you well or something like that. I don't know. People treat you well. You deserve to be treated well because you do a legitimately good job. Because I'm also again, I'm sensing that your boss feels like you should be. They should pay you more, but I don't think they're in a position to pay you more. Probably because I don't know. I don't think this business is doing well, or it's kind of stagnant. It's not that it's going badly, as in, because I did another reading about clients and bosses and subscribers, and for pile 2, I got this sense that business was kind of dunking. It was really down in the dumps and it was near bankruptcy. This is just stagnant energy. This is stagnant energy, but your boss has a new appreciation for you, but the business itself is stagnant. So as much as they want to give you a raise, they're not able to give you a raise, and it's making them feel a certain kind of way. And they're also they have this thing where they feel like they could struggle to retain you, because I'm also getting the Nine of Pentacles. So I think your boss knows that you have a side hustle that's going very well, and they feel like if there's anything negative that your boss feels about you, is that they might think you're a little scatterbrained. They kind of feel like your attention is elsewhere, because I'm getting the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is right next to the Nine of Pentacles, because the way I draw these cards is I just kind of, you might notice that between the piles, I don't even use the same cards. Not all of them get the same charms, not all of them get the same astro dice, and with this one, this just fell on the table like that. And with the Nine of Pentacles, I'm getting that they feel like you're independently wealthy, or they feel like you have another source of income. You have multiple sources of income, and occasionally you get distracted by that, which is why you're not so pressed to ask them for more hours or more or a higher hourly wage, or you never ask for a raise. You never really demand anything from them, because they know that you have other sources of income, and they're concerned about retaining you or keeping your interest. Okay, so with the keywords, I'm getting mindful, whimsical, of service, glamorous, a delight to work with, resilient, aflame, magical, spirit, and disciplined. So that's all good, which is why I feel like the Three of Pentacles in the reverse is more of an underappreciated energy that they had a reality check recently about. They think you're a very good judge of character. You've helped them kind of make judgments about other people recently, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. So again, I'm getting this justice energy. I don't think your boss feels like they do you justice, and they think that you are eager to learn things. So when things change in the work environment, you're not a complainer. You have a thirst for wisdom, and you seek truth wherever they are. The only concern is, again, they feel like you're distracted. Some of you may literally have ADHD. Not diagnosing anyone, but if you've already been diagnosed with ADHD, which I have, then this might resonate. I'm just saying that if you've already been officially diagnosed with ADHD, your boss may start seeing the symptoms. So I don't know if you're medicated or not, but your boss is starting to see you kind of be a little scatterbrained. Yeah, so there's that. There's that for pile 1. I hope that helped. Yeah, they kind of see you distracted. They think you're a little distracted, but other than that, they think they have a new appreciation for you, and that's because they dealt with somebody who was hellish to deal with. I don't know if this was an interview, a job interview, or if you're somebody's assistant, let's say you're somebody's PA, and they got together with another kind of person who's another peer, and they saw their peers, their business partners, PA behave in an erratic way, and they're like, and I really shouldn't say like inappropriately like that, but and they went, oh my God, I am so grateful that pile one, my PA, isn't like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. It's a new appreciation because they saw what's out there in the market. You could be kind of a generation that you might come from a generation that people stereotype as being very lazy, but actually you're not lazy, so they're very grateful for you. What else am I getting? I think I got something else. I channeled something while I was drawing these cards. Wait. No, I think that's it. So thanks for watching. I hope that helped. Bye. Okay, pile 2. So what I'm getting... Okay, so your boss could be a millennial or Gen X. Or you could be a millennial or Gen X. I'm getting kind of that energy a lot. This person thinks that you were meant to work together. I don't know if your boss is spiritual or they believe in fate or they're a fatalist. I don't know, but they feel like you were meant to come into their life for a reason. And with the Tower in reverse, I'm getting that you recently saved your boss from a disaster, whether you realize this or not. You said something that made them you said something that saved them from a disaster. You, for example, let's say your boss was on the verge of saying something that could get them canceled. You said, actually, you probably shouldn't have said that. Or I don't think you should do it this way. And then they think, oh my God, you're right. I didn't think of it that way. And it could have, you basically prevented a major disaster. Yeah. It could have been a big deal. It could have been kind of, what do you call it? It could have been a defining negative moment in their career, and you prevented that. Unbeknownst to you, unknowingly, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. For some of you, you might know that this reading resonates with you because they actually said in your face, oh my God, I never saw it that way. Oh my God, thank you for pointing that out. But for others of you, I feel like they saw you move a certain way. They saw you respect a certain culture, a certain ideology a certain way, and they realize, okay, that's the way to move these days. Okay, so I think there's something outdated about the way your boss thinks, and they learned something from you for sure. Okay, what else am I getting? With hello, I'm bored and hello, I'm tired on top of the world card. This is kind of a similar energy to pile 1. So pile 1's boss was very concerned about retaining them. And with the world card, I'm getting... So I put the hello, I'm bored and hello, I'm tired stickers on top of the world card because it contained nudity, and yeah, I know YouTube doesn't like that. So I think that your boss thinks you're a very body positive person. And we also get Saturn. Saturn is responsible. And I also feel like Saturn falling right under the Tower in reverse, you actually... If you didn't prevent this disaster from happening, I feel like this could have been a PR disaster. So you could be a social media manager, or you could literally work in marketing and PR. I'm getting that whatever disaster you prevented, the recovery from this disaster would have been very slow, and your boss would have had to do an apology video. Do you work for... I don't know if you work for a content creator as an editor or something, and then you edited something out to help them out. But if you hadn't stepped in, the recovery from whatever disaster this would have been very slow. Also with the with what's it called? The fortune cookie. You got a fortune cookie. Are you a camera? Because every time I look at you, I smile. It's giving the energy of, oh my God, did you pick pile 2 in my previous coworker job? Because I'm getting the same energy of you being good with cameras, you being good with social media, you being good with content, and you being attractive. Because I'm also getting the lip with the kind of teeth with a gap. So you may have a unique look. Again, this might resonate if you're a model and you're asking about how your agent feels about you. They think that you're very popular with the boys, and I think you are one of the staples. The staples? I think you're one of the more, okay, so let's say you are talent and you're asking about your management company or your talent agency. I don't know if your agent or management company expresses this to you, but you're actually a star employee or a star talent, and you are one of the main breadwinners, quote unquote breadwinners, in that talent agency or modeling agency, or there's something about you that brings in the money, is what I'm getting from the star and the life ring. And I'm also getting the Helios. So I'm getting that you get a lot of attention, positive attention. And yeah, you're kind of an attraction, because I see the white flower with a pearl, and it's got kind of like this pendulum hanging thing. So I think that if whenever your boss hangs you as an attraction or hangs your work as an attraction, it invites clients. You could be, let's say you work in sales. You're very good at taking people into the shop, making them feel like a princess, and getting people to spend money at your joint is what I'm getting. Again, there's this aesthetic feeling, and they like your creativity, and they like how your creativity flip-flops, so you're never boring, because that's what I'm getting from the ace charm, the black ace charm with the hold ace. And the hold ace looks like a key slot, so I feel like you hold the key to a lot of things. You kind of unlock a lot of things that they would otherwise not have noticed. So you're very good at noticing things. Your attention, I'm hearing stellar attention to detail, and I'm feeling that one of the ways that you saved your boss from a PR disaster or a kind of a career slump is through your attention to detail. You held a key. You told them you should not be doing this. People might take that as disrespectful, and then you save them. And also I'm getting Elizabeth II, 1998. So some of you could be born in 1998. This is interesting because earlier I got the energy of a PR firm, but I'm also seeing the star and it's translucent. So I feel like if you're a talent or you're a content creator, your subscribers or the people who watch you enjoy you because you're so transparent. They don't feel like you're PR crafted. I think your PR image is that you're just who you are, which is such a healthy kind of image to take in. And also with the advocate, I think your subscribers or your boss or your client thinks that you're you're very principled. You have values that you hold dear. And on top of the advocate, I see Taurus, but it's sideways. So Taurus is about the second house, is about money. And I feel like they like you because you don't worship money. Inspires you to put compassion into action. And with the Taurus there, I feel like money talks, but sometimes you don't listen. So sometimes you follow your heart. I feel like you're the type of person who will have multiple passion projects on the side. So you have multiple sources of income, maybe. I don't know. But they also know that you do things out of passion. If this is your only job, your boss can trust you to have passion for that job. You're not just doing it for a paycheck. But if this is your day job, they know that there's something outside of the work that you are very passionate about, like you have a passion project. The lover in So your boss is very nosy. Your boss wants to know a lot about your personal life with a lover in the upright. So great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something, and they want to know who you're dating. Oh, interesting. So the eighth house, you have the fourth house, you have the fifth house. So the fourth house is all about your home life. Your fifth house is about your dating life. Your first house is about who you are as a person. And the eighth house is sometimes about your spouse. So they are very nosy. I think they don't ask you. If they haven't asked you about your love life, it's because they probably think that that's kind of out of line. It's against work rules to ask, but they are nosy and they would love to know who you're dating. They want to know what your love life is like. I don't know. Are they attracted to you? For some of you, this might resonate as them being attracted to you and wanting to provide for you. But for those of you who, let's say you have more of a big sister, little sister vibe with your boss, your boss wants you to come to them with your personal life problems because they want to mentor you in that way. They're really nosy. They want to know what your life is like outside of work. With the monk and nun, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit with the north node. Again, this boss or this client or this agent really feels like you were meant to meet in this lifetime. You're meant to cross paths. And again, with the monk and nun and the Taurus in the sideways and the advocate, they see you as being very passionate. At the same time, I think that especially if your boss understands manifestation and they're spiritual themselves, they feel like you know how to alchemize any situation and turn it into a positive. They see you as this person who trusts the universe. And so you can go head on and do something that you're very passionate about in fields where people think that maybe are not so lucrative. So for example, wanting to be a journalist, wanting to be a writer, wanting to be an actor, wanting to pursue music, wanting to be a content creator. Those are on the surface very glamorous, but it's hella competitive, and most people who try to pursue it never even make it. But you are so passionate at what you do that I feel like your boss understands that because you give so much love into what you do, it just keeps giving back. And so they like being in your energy. Your boss could be an earth sign because this is the energy of I recently did an 888 Lionsgate portal reading, and the earth signs are the earth sign energy that I got in that reading was that of somebody who likes to surround themselves with abundant energy and generous energy and the energy of positive manifestation, deep manifestation. And I think your boss might be an earth sign, and with the Taurus kind of crooked that way, I feel like your boss sees something in you that they lack in themselves and they love it. Because sometimes people see something that they lack in themselves and they kind of get envious or jealous. Your boss loves having you around. Your boss thinks that you're a great addition to the team. So yeah, I think that's it. I think I broke down all the so we also got the double dinosaur charm, and I feel like maybe they think they knew you in a past life. Maybe you're both old souls. Maybe you're the same age and you bond over being the same age. But they feel like you're kind of a soulmate in a soul group, in the same soul group. So you could kind of be two peas in a pod kind of vibe. You're kindred spirits, you're like-minded is what I'm getting. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, thank you for watching. Bye. Okay, so pile 3, I feel like this might resonate if you work in an industry or you work in a workplace where people expect a lot of you. So I see some of you kind of being content creators in certain niches where people are, I'm sorry, I burped, where people are expected to serve. So for example, The tarot community or the ASMR community are the kind of YouTube niches where the content creator is expected to serve something. You know what I mean? As tarot readers, we're expected to serve a tarot reading. As an ASM artist, you are expected to serve a good experience. You know what I mean? It's kind of giving that vibe. Or you could be in the medical industry, but more kind of a caring industry. So caring? Yeah. You're more of a kind of caretaker position. So you're not in the diagnostics field. You're more in the kind of nursing field, caretaker field. You could work in a nursing home. You could work in a what's that term where hospice. You could work in a hospice, and you're expected to serve. And don't get me wrong, you do a good job serving. You serve what needs to be served. The service serving, but you also stand your ground, which is probably something that some people might find jarring. So, for example, let's say you're a YouTube creator and you do tarot readings, and people expect you to do what they tell you to do. So, let's say you do an ASMR channel or a tarot channel, and people say, I want more of these ASMR triggers, or why don't you do a reading about this and that? And you don't listen. I'm getting the nobody is a boss of me here. I'm kind of getting that situation. And for those of you kind of in a caring industry, or literally you could work in some sort of service industry. People expect you to just take abuse, take mistreatment, and you don't accept being mistreated by people. And I see you kind of being a hero amongst your peers. So, for example, if you work in the service industry and you don't take shit from people, your fellow service industry people think, oh my God, you are so cool. You are so awesome for standing your ground, for standing up for yourself like that. People like that a lot. I don't know how that's going to work if you're, because I'm like this personally. As a tarot channel, I just do whatever I want to do. I also get this energy of you especially with a student in the reverse, because the student in the reverse is giving me the energy of unreceptive of knowledge that you put out there, that you kind of quote unquote impart. Okay, impart is such a grandiose word, but I'm getting you impart some knowledge and people are rejecting that knowledge. So if you run a commentary channel or you run a YouTube channel, you could say things that people find hard to digest. Not digest. It's not that they can't digest it. They can understand what you're saying, but they're rejecting it. They're rejecting it because it doesn't fall in line with what they want to believe. So, for example, I recently did this. So I recently did a video where I said main character energy is overrated. And I don't think people took that well. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure somebody has probably disliked it at this point, because I saw a lot of people watched it, but not that many people liked it. So I feel like that triggered something in some people. And, a lot of people want to chase fame. A lot of people want to chase views. A lot of people want to be the main character. And main character energy is such a meme. It's an aesthetic on TikTok. People want to live that life. But to hear somebody say that it's not what it's all chalked up to be. It's not what you think it is. It's not that great. Once you achieve it, you kind of feel empty. I don't think people are prepared to learn the life lessons that you learn the hard way. And that's fine. Everybody has a different learning style. It could also be if you're a teacher, if you're an educator, people are, and this is not your fault, but for example, when I was 19, I took a language class. I learned French for the first time. And at 19, I was also attending university. And so I was tired by the time I took this evening class in French. And so no matter how hard the teacher tried to teach me French, I just could not wrap my head around the French. Ugh, the French wasn't Frenching. So after graduating from university, I retook French as a morning class with the same teacher. And all of a sudden, I am speaking French. So it's kind of that situation. So it could be that your students mismatch with your teaching style. And so they're not absorbing what you're trying to say, and their brain is kind of rejecting it. You could have students who have learning disabilities, and you need to kind of learn how to detect that. I'm getting the energy of you have a student who's dyslexic and you're not noticing. You have students who have ADHD and you're not noticing. Yeah, I'm getting that energy. So if you can somehow improve on that, I don't know how you would improve on that. I'm sure teachers are taught some kind of basic educational psychology. I don't know. But there's something about that you need to improve. You need to improve on that. I'm getting this energy of some people feeling unseen by you. So it's kind of giving the energy that, teacher, I'm struggling with this and you're not noticing, for example. Or maybe you teach something that shouldn't be in a large class. For example, ballet. Maybe you teach ballet and you have, I don't know, 25 students in your class. And I know that a corps de ballet is supposed to have tons of dancers, but ideally in a class setting, every student probably needs a little attention. I know some people are very, very talented in dancing and they don't need that much instruction. But me, I have ADHD and I was never that flexible. So I personally feel like I took up a lot of my ballet teachers' attention back when I did ballet. And so I feel like there are students like that. I feel like there's some energy of feeling underserved. And to be fair to you, if you work in an organization or an educational institution, it's probably not your fault. You're probably undertrained to detect learning disabilities. You're probably undertrained to detect that, oh, your student is struggling at their home. Because, some teachers are very perceptive. Some teachers know if their students are struggling at their home. Maybe you have too many students in your class and all of them are acting out. So if any of your students were to require personal attention, you simply couldn't. I feel like for some of you, you're just overworked. Some of you, so I'm getting this energy of some of you being so overworked and overwhelmed that you cannot properly serve or properly teach or properly educate. And for some of you, I feel like you have very strong boundaries and people are kind of like, oh, about it, I'm not supposed to say like inappropriately like that, but because my teacher taught me not to say like inappropriately like that, so it's really kind of stuck. And that was also, I think that's a channeled message. In that when my say initially taught me that you need to stop saying like inappropriately like that, because the teacher who taught me to stop saying like inappropriately like that was an acting teacher. And he was based in LA. And if you know LA, a lot of people talk with a Valley Girl accent and they say like a lot. And so I think he was just trying to get his actors to stop saying like that. And so initially, if you grew up in LA or you grew up around people who talk in a Valley accent and then you suddenly are put into a class where the teacher tells you to stop saying like inappropriately, you're going to get defensive, So I feel like that's the energy that a lot of people that deal with you feel like. So people who watch your tarot channels, they might feel like, oh, I don't like what she's saying, because you might get a reading, and any tarot reader knows this, but tarot readings are not always going to tell you what you want to hear. And I don't think everybody is prepared to be told things about themselves that they don't want to hear. Sometimes people go into tarot readings expecting us to just gas them up, but we can't just always gas people up, because not everybody should be encouraged to. We shouldn't be enabling people who have bad habits, and sometimes you just have to say it like it is for their own good and to be a responsible tarot reader. Because if you're a tarot reader and your client wants to do something illegal, would you encourage them? Of course not, right? But of course they don't want to hear that. So it's kind of giving that energy of people not wanting to accept what you say. For example, you saying that, oh, the soft life isn't as what people think it is. It's not that pleasant. It's really just a mask for financial abuse. And people who really covet that lifestyle may reject that. Oh, you're just jealous. You just don't want people to be happy or whatever. Something like that's going on. And also with the student in the reverse, if you're a tarot channel, people would love to learn tarot from you for some reason. Okay. As a tarot reader, I know that everybody channels differently. So some people channel so fast that they don't have time to explain what each card means. Maybe you don't even show your cards, but people love you so much that they wish that they could learn from you. They think that they could learn how to read tarot from you, so for example, my style of reading tarot is I will look at the cards and I will say, well, I saw the King of Swords, because we have the King of Swords here, right? And I'll say, oh, I see the King of Swords. So people think you're whip smart. People think you're sharp. People think that you can see through them. And that's why you won't cater to them. They think that you are a good judge of character. And if they think that you you shouldn't be enabled, or you shouldn't be encouraged to keep doing what you are currently doing, as in a bad habit, then they're going to call you out on it, and they're going to say it like it is, and it's going to be cutting, and not everybody's going to be accepting of what you have to say. And that is what the King of Swords is giving me. Some people don't do that. Some people lay the cards out and then they start channeling, and they never say, I said this because I saw this card. And some people wish that you would do that. And I'm not saying that you should do that if you don't want to do that, because I'm getting this energy of some of you are just overwhelmed. And I feel like for those of you who don't resonate with standing your ground and having boundaries, I think this reading is telling you to stand your ground and have boundaries, because some of your subscribers are entitled. Some of your students are entitled. You could be pulled all over the place because you have maybe some of your students' parents are entitled. Maybe you teach in a school with privileged children and they're entitled. I don't know what this is, but there's this energy of entitlement that you are not accepting. Also, people think that you're abundant. People think that you are abundant, and that's why you don't take shit from people. That's interesting. Because on the one hand, I'm getting that you work in something that has to do with service. So I'm thinking maybe you come from a privileged background, but by the time you hit 18, your parents cut you off because they want you to be independent. So you start working in the service industry, but because you were raised to have self-respect for yourself, you don't take shit from people. You don't let people treat you like crap when you're waiting tables, is what I'm getting. Something like that. And also with the... What is this? Let me just zoom in. With the poet, expresses soul insight in symbolic language. I feel like you have a way of communicating that people really like. You could be artistic because I'm getting ballet energy. I'm getting ballet energy, and you don't necessarily you are really good at expressing things through indirect speech. So you could be an actor. You could be an actor because actors express themselves through body language. Actors, and people think you're very good at this. They express themselves through body language. They express themselves through facial expression. And sometimes the way they deliver lines can change the meaning of the lines, even if they're not speaking a language that depends heavily on intonation. So, for example, in Korean and Mandarin, if you say the same thing in different intonations, they can mean different things. But you probably speak a language where you can say it flat, and people, at most, people will think it's sarcastic. But most of the time, the meaning doesn't change depending on your intonation, and you're actually very good at that. And people who work with you love that. Maybe if you work in customer service, your boss absolutely loves how you handle customers. You're firm. Because again, I see this the servant in the reverse, so I'm not getting kind of you kind of groveling and kissing people's behind. You're firm, but you're something about your intonation is on point. You know how to kind of stand your ground when you represent your company, but you never let people trample on you, is the energy I'm getting. And that is a very good look for the company I'm getting. Yeah, that is something that people really appreciate at the workplace. With a poet, you know how to speak diplomatically. You might literally work in kind of an intercultural workplace. So, for example, you could work in a Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You could work in the Foreign Services. You could work you could work overseas, and people love the way that you can flip flop between cultures and you can accommodate everybody. People love that. With the Ace of Wands and the Death card in the upright is getting that you are very you're very innovative. I'm getting the energy of regeneration. So once you dropped in the scene, you change I know this is so dramatic, and I don't want to I hope people who come to this video aren't people with overblown egos, but you really change the landscape of your industry, or you will in the future, because the Death card and the Ace of Wands. So on the one hand, you have the Ace of Wands, which is new energy, an increase in vitality, new creativity, new ideas, a new beginning that's kind of fiery and fired up, and you change the landscape of something into a positive direction. And then you get the Death card, which is kind of regeneration, rebirth, Plutonian energy. Wait a minute. Is it Pluto? Because I think that the Death card is Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by both Pluto and Mars. So yeah, it's also giving me the cutting energy. So you might communicate in a way that is very decisive, but not divisive. I'm channeling the decisive but not divisive. So you know how to unify people, and people love that about you, which is what I get from that Ace of Wands. I know that's not how traditionally you would interpret the Ace of Wands, as unifying, but for some reason I'm getting kind of the image of lots of little twigs, and then you put it in your hand and it turns into one wand. And that is unifying, but also people don't think you have an overblown ego, even though there's this energy of you coming from. I get this energy of people thinking that even though you're no BS and you speak directly, you also were brought up to respect yourself. You were brought up to respect yourself. You were well raised. I'm getting the ladybug, and I'm getting two ladybugs. So one ladybug is a watch ladybug, and my aunt actually bought me that, and I got two princess. So I got Princess Serenity, and I also got the crown. So you could be very intuitive. there's something significant with the crown. So your crown chakra is very open, and that's why you're so unifying, because the crown chakra is about the oneness of all beings. When your crown chakra is open, you're able to see how everybody is just a reflection of you, and if somebody triggers you, then it might be something within yourself that's within them that you don't like about yourself. Or on the other hand, if you lack something and you see somebody who lacks what you lack, you kind of understand that everybody is just a reflection of yourself. And that's why you are such a good customer representative. You are such a good salesperson, because you are able to get into people's psyches and see through them. It's also what I'm getting from the eagle or hawk in the King of Swords, is you're able to see through things. And you're also you're very good at sniffing out. And I'm not a mental health professional, so I probably shouldn't be labeling people narcissistic, but the way the King of Swords is looking at that King of Wands in the reverse is giving me that you are great at sniffing out narcissistic individuals. So if you work in the service industry and your business, the establishment you work with, deals with a lot of Karens, I feel like your coworkers, and I know this is about bosses, clients, subscribers, but your coworkers think you're a hero for the way that you deal with Karens. There's something about the way that you deal with entitled people with dignity that people really love. I think again, we see Princess Serenity, we see the crown chakra. People think that I don't know. I think that at least they think that you were, I'm hearing well-bred. They feel like you were raised well by your parents to, on the one hand, respect people, but on the other hand, to not take ish from people, which good for you. Don't take ish from people. Don't take ish from entitled people. Don't take ish from, Karens. And also with the black cat, you're very mysterious. I don't know. You're mysterious. And with both the black cat and the King of Wands in the reverse, I'm getting this energy that you don't like to show yourself for some reason. You could own one of those faceless ASMR videos. I mean, no shade to people who don't show their faces on screen, obviously, because I don't do that. But maybe there's something about you focusing more on your results, your product, or maybe you're just shy. People probably think you're just shy and mysterious. There's D in the reverse, so that's giving me you have big D energy, but you're not always you have big D energy, but you're not one to kind of swing it around. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm channeling all super weird, but yeah. It's giving the energy of somebody who has big D energy around them. You walk into a room and people can feel kind of a level of authority, or a level of kind of a level of authority, and they feel kind of an intensity with you. But you're not going to, swing it around in people's faces. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. And with 3 in the reverse, it's giving me the energy of you. If you are, you need to be seen in, you need to succeed beyond your local neighborhood, because it's giving me the energy of the third house, and the third house is your neighborhood, is about your childhood. It's about basic education. It's kind of giving the again, you could work in education, you could be in early education, but people know that you're not just about that. You are more philosophical, you're more religious, you're more spiritual than you show yourself to be. So I don't know what kind of work environment you work in, but people sense that there's more to you. And with a seashell, they think you're a good listener, but you also clam up, because it's not the kind of seashell because there are 2 types of seashells, right? I don't know what they're called, because obviously I'm not a seashell expert, but I know there are seashells that you can listen to, and then there are the kind of clam seashells, and we're getting the clam seashell here, and also the ladybug. The ladybug, we got two ladybugs. Ladybugs always remind me of my childhood. Because I remember this, what the first ever, you could be a writer. Why is it that every time I do one of these, how does your boss, client, or subscribers feel about you readings, pile 3 is always my writer pile. Because the ladybug watch is something that my aunt gave me. My aunt now lives in Europe, but she gave it to me as a child before she left to Europe. So as a child, I feel like people feel like you never reached your full potential. And people are very curious about that. People are questioning that. People who knew you from your childhood, and I know this is supposed to be about your boss, your clients, your subscribers, but maybe some of these bosses, these clients, because we're getting the third house energy, maybe they know your parents. Maybe they're friends of the family. Maybe they knew you since childhood, and they feel like you should be doing something bigger. There's this energy of you should be doing something bigger than this. You shouldn't be just be neighborhood famous. You should be province level famous. You shouldn't be province level famous. You should be nationally famous. You shouldn't be nationally famous. You should be worldwide famous. It's giving that energy. There's kind of people see your potential, but because I'm seeing the rocket charm here, but the rocket charm is facing downward, so it's kind of landing. Unfortunately, I feel like people think that you are not rising, that you're just slumping. I'm so sorry. But yeah. But people see your potential though. So people feel like you deserve more recognition than you do now. Again, with that energy of the Black Cat and the King of Wands, you're not showing yourself. Sometimes you give ideas at the workplace, but you don't care about getting a promotion out of that idea. You don't care about gaining recognition. You don't even care if people thank you or not. You're just happy to serve is what I'm getting. You're just happy to serve, but only to a certain extent. You're going to serve within your pay grade, but you're not going to go out of your way and let people trample on you. I think the only thing that I would really be kind of worried about is people thinking that with the student in the reverse, that I don't think people think you're a know-it-all. I just think that maybe people think you're stingy about your knowledge, and I'm sorry if that kind of offends you, but people really would love to learn something about you. People would love to, especially if you do tarot, you would do very well teaching tarot. You would do a great job doing a video where you kind of break down this card means this card means that, and people think it's such a pity that they can't learn from you. And my only concern is people might think that you're, what's that word? Gatekeeping. That you're gatekeeping knowledge. So, okay, if it's something that is easily taught, like tarot or a language, people think that, oh my God, he or she is gatekeeping. But on the other side, if you have knowledge in something that is esoteric, or insider knowledge. If you have insider knowledge. Okay, because with the rocket there, I'm getting the energy of to the moon. So I'm getting kind of crypto and finances vibes from that. And from that crypto and finances vibe, I'm getting the energy of insider trading. So if you have insider information and you relay that, you kind of decide that, okay, I don't want to be a gatekeeper. So there are two sides of this reading. On the one hand, some people might think you're a gatekeeper, but the thing is, damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you were to share this information, this insider information to a public platform, not everybody's going to trust you, because it's kind of this usually privileged information. So when you do kind of let's say you have industry information, right? You work in an industry that that's kind of you know what happens behind the scenes, and you kind of do a story time about what happens behind the scenes, maybe your subscribers won't necessarily automatically believe you because they don't it's not readily verifiable information. So it's kind of giving that energy. Yeah. So I don't know. Use your discernment. Share what you want to share, teach what you want to teach, and please, if your channeling style is that you don't quote every card, don't feel like you have to. Some people demand that. Some people demand that you shuffle on screen, and I don't. No, that is not my style. I actually do that on my native language channel, but I don't know why I don't feel like doing that here. So just do what feels good for you. Because especially when it's one thing to work for a boss or work for a client, but if you run a public platform like on social media, just do you and you'll find your tribe. If people don't vibe with you, then they're not your collective, whatever. You know what I mean? Just stand your ground. The fact that you show up is already an act of service. So I feel like don't let people boss you around, especially if you're on YouTube or whatever. People want to get into social media because they want to be their own boss, but then they let their subscribers dictate their content, which, okay, I thought you came here to be your own boss. What are you doing? So yeah, just kind of be more, I shouldn't word it this way, but be more self-centered. No, that sounds wrong. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart is be more heart-centered, not self-centered. Because I recently took part in a Lionsgate activation ceremony, and the teacher in the activation ceremony said that this Lionsgate portal, the 888 portal, is about being more heart-centered. And she actually did this meditation where the focus was to put the infinity symbol in your heart center. And I feel like, yeah, that's be more heart-centered. She actually said, okay, this is kind of mind-blowing, but the person who led the Lionsgate activation ceremony that I took part in, she actually said that the heart is a stronger brain than the brain. Well, she didn't word it that way, but the point is that the heart does a better job thinking than your actual brain does. So even if your brain tells you, even if my brain were to tell me, well, the best way to run your YouTube channel is to listen to what your subscribers want, but then my heart says no, but I want to do readings on this or that, and this is what I feel drawn to, then listen to your heart, because your heart is a lot smarter than you think. So yeah, I hope that helped. I hope this isn't going to be too long because some of my readings these days have been really long. So I hope that helped. Thank you for watching. Bye.